Looking for a place to listen, learn, and laugh? Then come on, sis, and join Truly Porsha and Stacy J every Monday and Wednesday, where we discuss growth in every area of life. No topic is off limits. Let's grow together, stand in solidarity, and fix each other's crowns. Brought to you by PS Consulting Firm, because there's more. Today's topic is generational curses. So, sis, do you want to break them? Stand in solidarity with us as we talk to some real people today. If you need help with reconnecting with real life, maybe you want to tell your story, or you've recently lost a loved one, then yes, you should follow us on Instagram at PS Consulting Firm. I am your host, Truly Porsha. You can just call me Porsha.
Your host, Stacy J. Our mission is to educate and empower Black women with tools to elevate through sisterhood and self-care. So some of the things that I love is being a mentor, a counselor. I'm a believer, a wife, a mommy of a beautiful baby boy. I'm a aspiring novelist, I'm a writer, I'm an editor, so many things. So come on, sis, come on in the room and get to know me and Truly Porsha.
Absolutely. And just to give you a little bit background about myself, I am your virtual assistant sister. So if you are looking for entrepreneur tools, you need help with taking your life to the next level, here I am. I have had the opportunity to help so many different businesses reach their revenue goals as well as their customer service satisfaction goals. And on top of that, when I was 17 years old, I actually had an opportunity to experience an empowerment session. And since then, it's reminded me of why I was put here. And I'm here to help people who are like me, or maybe you were like me. And from being able to come up with strategic plans for businesses to helping people see the different life changing events, that you can experience in your personal life, that's the most important thing to me. You can draw up all type of business plans, you can throw on any type of outfit, but the most important fact that really matters is you. So let's work on that together, sis.
That is awesome. That's awesome. I mean, you said so much and it was perfect. You know what? We here. This is why this partnership is
We here, okay?
is divine. God put us
Did you
together.
feel it? You gave me the energy.
We
You
talk
prayed
about
over it.
that.
You
I
prayed
really
it.
do, like, truthfully feel like God put us together. Because I told Porsha and I, for the viewers, I'm gonna just give y'all a little background. Porsha and I met at an institution, an educational institution, and the love that she showed me when I first walked in, it was like nothing I had ever experienced from anybody, like going on a job interview. And so we just instantly connected.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a little over 2 years, but it feels like a lifetime. Like I feel like I've known her for so long. And once Porsha left that institution, God made it so I had to leave too, because he was like, okay, your purpose here is finished. You came here to connect with Porsha, to make sure that you carried her along with you, to make sure that she started to create a better relationship with me, meaning God. This is God telling me this. And so after you left, God was like, girl, get on out of here. You done.
That's it. And ever since then, I like pinch myself. You guys have no idea how fortunate and blessed I feel when I talk to Stacy.
Oh my goodness.
I've never had this before. It's one thing to have a childhood friend, you have that friendship, but the friendship that you develop in your adult life, that's something that you don't really hear people talk about a lot. And that's another topic we're gonna have to talk about.
You mentioned one time, and this is off topic, but you mentioned one time you never thought that you would be friends with someone like me. What does that mean? I want you to tell the viewers what that means.
Listen, y'all. I mean, I've seen a lot growing up, and for some reason, I just thought it would be impossible for me to connect with somebody who's established, good credit. I know y'all like, what? I mean, I got good credit too. Some of y'all already have good credit, but I'm just saying, good credit, a wholesome family, focused, determined, genuine, real, straightforward, but not spiteful, not manipulating. And I know manipulation is something that you allow to happen to yourself in a sense, but it's
Well,
like,
not really. If you are in the presence of a master manipulator, you don't know you're being manipulated.
See, and a lot of things that I didn't have growing up and I didn't see, I have someone in my life now, Stacy, who has that, and she's showing me. Yes, don't make me cry.
I appreciate you, Porsha.
Oh my gosh! But I think again, if more people had more Stacys or more people like me who are willing to build with one another and say, "Hey, I see your crown is tilted," or "Where is your crown? You're missing it."
And that's what this whole
Let me get it for
platform.
you.
Each one teach one.
Ooh.
No woman left behind. Like, we are here to make sure that our sisters, young Black women, are made whole. Those who have experienced so much brokenness. Porsha, you often pour into me, but I have to share with you. You reignite a fire in me to keep going. Like, life can, just kind of knock the wind out of you, or you just get so tired by all the brick walls you keep running into. But I feel like as you and I keep walking forward and we're doing this together, you lessen my burden. And so I'm so grateful for you because I know that you are a part of my destiny.
Girl, look. Cut it out.
And it's so interesting that today's topic is about generational curses. I don't know if you want to share this, so I'm going to just leave it at this. But when I walked into your office one day and you were so receptive about what the Lord told me about you. So if you want to share that, that's okay. That's good. If not, that's fine too. But today's topic is about generational curses. So let's go ahead and talk about it, Porsha.
Oh my gosh, Stacy, this is definitely needed. It's a conversation that you see people talking about more frequently, which is great. But at the same time, I don't see a lot of people really putting forth the right effort, or those people that they're getting that, conversation from, it just dies there. It's like, okay, you've talked about it. Now what? What do you do then? And there are a lot of times where you see young, wild teens. You also see disciplined, wholesome individuals, young ladies. But at some point, we all can agree that we found ourselves in a situation, because that's what it is, it's not permanent, a situation where you're stuck. And you're stuck in a situation where you told yourself way before you even got there that would never be me. That's not me. Never. So you have to wonder, is this all for me? What is up the road for me? What's next? So, of generational curses, what are they, Stacy, and how do you see us being able to break them?
So generational curses can come in so many different forms. It can come in the form of sexual abuse and exploitation. It can come in the form of poverty, financial instability, divorce, all these things that you see a pattern from generation to generation to generation that are out of God's will, out of God's purpose for your life. And oftentimes we don't necessarily acknowledge them as generational curses because we're like, oh, my mama did that. Her mama did this just how it is. No, if it's a negative thing, if it's something that's hindering your growth, your relationship with Christ, your relationship with people, these are curses that are not of God, that are not in his will, that you need to, one, acknowledge, come into the realization that this is a real thing. accept it, say, okay, I know that it's real. I understand that it's real. I'm going to accept that it's real. But then you can decide to be the curse breaker in your family. And what I mean by that is by setting a game plan in place, putting a game plan in place to, map out all the things that you see happening from generation to generation, and then start to formulate a plan to break that curse so that it no longer negatively affects you, your children, your children's children, and your children's children's children.
Yep,
For
yes,
me,
the generations to come.
I was thinking about this topic and I was like, okay, one of the generational curses that I feel like is something that I have dealt with, I'm still dealing with. I see it in my son, and I'm trying to stop it from rearing its ugly head even more, is the spirit of anger. Getting so mad about stuff that you can't change, that you just like lashing out. And that was an issue for me growing up as a child. It was an issue for me in the beginning stage of my marriage. And to the point where I just decided, okay, I'm just going to shut down. I'm not going to talk to my husband. I'm going to give him the silent treatment. I figured out through talking to my husband, talking to a therapist, that that's my defense mechanism of self-preservation, so that I can better formulate my thoughts to get what I really want to say, in a way that is not hurtful to him. But initially it was me giving him the silent treatment so that I could hurt him. And we had a real conversation. He was like, you got to stop doing that. And I thought about it and I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it, because, you don't do this, you don't do that. Like, I'm just going to be real. Like, our marriage hasn't been perfect. And that's why I hate when people say relationship goes this, that, and the third. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Granted, I have a wonderful husband and a great marriage, but in the beginning, it was some struggles.
Yes.
It was some struggles because I was so strong-willed. I was ignorant on how to be a good wife, even though I saw that in my mom, but we never really had conversations about how to be a good wife. And Bishop T.D. Jakes, who you and I love and talk about all the time, he says, people get married every day, but it takes time to learn how to be married. And so I've been married for almost 9 years now. And for the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, it's been awesome. But it took those first few years for me to learn how to be married, and not just to be married to any old body, but to be married to this particular man. And so he asked me to stop giving him the silent treatment. And I had to come to the realization that, one, I was doing it out of anger. And then two, as I started to mature and understand myself and my patterns, I said, you know what? It's not all out of anger and spite. It's because I want to formulate my thoughts and be able to communicate with him in a way that's not hurtful. It's something that I don't have to apologize for, because if we're in the middle of an argument and you coming for me, oh, I'm going real low. And, Michelle Obama, our forever first lady, said, when they go low, you go high. Child, I'm not there yet. I'm not even gonna lie. So I have to excuse myself from the conversation. It might take an hour, it might take a day, but I need to calm down. Because if you come at me when I'm not calm, it's gonna be real, real ugly. And I see that in my son when he, and granted, he is almost 2, but I see him expressing himself with so much anger, and then he'll turn right back around and be so loving. And I'm like, that's me. And I want to show him that that's not the way to do it. So we talk a lot about kindness and being nice. And I know he has a limited understanding, but Josiah is very, very smart. And you have to, I say, start now so he can understand, there are other ways to manage your anger. So for me, that's a generational curse that I feel like I was gifted from my dad. And where he got it from, I'm sure from his parents and their parents and so on and so forth. But I want to break that cycle now. The Bible says it's okay to be angry, but just don't sin in your anger. And so I think about that often when I get real mad. And I really have decided not to let people even make me real mad. I'm like, I'm in control of myself.
Yes.
So I'm not even gonna give you, I'm not gonna give you that. So that's the generational curse that I've decided to break. And it ends with me because I see it trickling on in with my son, but no, we're gonna work on that. What about you? What are some generational curses that you feel like you have acknowledged, accepted, and made a plan for?
Now, when it comes to generational curses, oh my goodness, I feel like I almost hit all of them, unfortunately,
Okay.
from poverty struggles. Not that I'm poor, I'm not rich either, but there's a lot of financial guidance that I feel like I'm still working through.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I've always had a job. I've always had money, but not really having a plan as far as what to do with the money, how to invest it.
Mm-hmm.
You can have your money in your savings account all day long, but then what? Like, what's the plan from there? If I was to pass away today or tomorrow, what's going to happen with that? And relationships, I would say emotional instability is something that I see as being a generational curse. um, Again, a lot of these conversations you see people talking about all the time on social media, but nobody really wants to address how to handle those things. So when it comes to my emotions, I really understand that that's something that I'm still learning as well. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
learning myself, who I am, what I do like, what I don't like. And that's a conversation that I didn't have when I was younger. Nobody sat down and told me, hey, you want to make sure that when you are feeling this way, it's okay to speak up on this.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a phase where, you speaking your opinion was actually like shunned upon. You couldn't speak your mind,
Yeah.
time and a place and a way to say it. But my thoughts, I could never really express how I feel, never. So that's what drew me to, like, writing, but it also drew me to being attracted to the wrong things and the wrong people. I found myself connecting more with individuals who wanted to rebel. Like, oh, nobody hears you either. Yeah, like, let's do something about it. I want to have an attitude too. Nobody's listening to me. So let me just be mad. When I have an attitude, I get attention then, or
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not doing my work at school, they see me then. But that was still, again, when you think about it, that was stupid. I still passed with great grades, honor roll student, whatever. But my attitude, I always saw it as being my way of showing people, like, hey, I have something to say. You're not listening to me. So as I've grown, I've come to learn to, therapy is something that I need. But that wasn't, again, something that was approved or, talked about. When a lot of people mention mental health counselors or going to see a therapist, everybody thinks something is wrong with you, or like you're crazy for going, or you don't need it. How can somebody else tell you what's wrong with you? And that's very ignorant for anybody to sit around and think that somebody outside of your circle, outside of your family, outside of your life can't help you better understand what it is that you are struggling with. And a lot of times it's better to have someone who's not familiar with you at all, who don't know you, because that allows them not to, like, pick sides. You can't say that they are judging you. They don't know
Right.
you. All they know is
And
what you're
like
telling them.
opinion. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And like I said, I mean, I really feel like all the generational curses, I've experienced a lot of them. But what I want to do now as I move forward, because 2020 was like such a drag. It was a year. It was a time of times. But something that I really want to make sure that I'm doing now as I move forward is being clear on the things that I say I want and actually sticking to it, not bending to appease anybody else. not,
Yeah.
changing my mind to accommodate the need or the wants of somebody else's life, their career, whatever it is. I
That's
have
what
to do this for me.
yeah.
And that's not easy. I'm gonna be honest. It's not
Yeah.
easy to actually do what's best for me, even though that sounds crazy, but I find myself
It
always
does.
trying to put, like other people first, and
And let me
because I
tell you
want to
why it
help
doesn't
so many
sound
people.
crazy. It doesn't sound crazy because you're a mother and you're so
Mhm.
used to nurturing. So you have an innate instinct to shelve your own wants, needs, desires for other people to make sure that other people in your life are okay. And I
And being
think,
honest too, generational curses. I saw my mom do that her whole life.
mhm,
Everything she did for the most part was always for somebody else. Yes, she got kids. I understand, she had to work for us, things like that. But there was never a moment where she really sat back and took real time for herself. She went and got her nails done, got her hair done. But taking a vacation alone or a girl's trip without waiting for, like her sisters to approve or waiting for the job to actually say, yeah, sure. Everything she did was on somebody else's time and for them. And I found myself, looking back like, dang, a lot of the stuff that I always say I didn't want to do, love my mom dearly. But I also saw some things that I used to say all the time, like, that's not going to be me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to date like that. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to work like that. And I found myself in those situations at one point because my mom worked 3 jobs the entire time, 3 jobs. And when I
wow.
first had my son, I kept saying, like if I'm gonna get a job, I'm not gonna have to work all these different type of jobs. And in 2014, I found myself working 3 jobs.
Mm.
I'm like, here I am, not with my son. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm working myself to death, and I'm still not living the life that I want to. So where is this going? Where is this really going? And that same year is when I first stepped into like corporate America. I got my job in property management. But from there, that's when I really started to see like, hey, it's some stuff that you've been talking about that you don't want to do or that you'll never do. And here you are experiencing all of the stuff that you say you didn't want to do. And not to like, go into the piece about how to break the generational curses, but something that I realized I needed to do was disconnect myself from those sayings, getting rid of the way that I speak on the things that I do want. Because I was very clear on the things that I didn't want, very clear. But
Mhm.
that's all I was focused on, the things that I didn't want. But I was so focused on that I actually became so familiar with the things that I didn't want that I actually started attracting the things that I didn't want. Because
Isn't it
not once,
so crazy how that works?
not
Yeah.
once did I ever speak on the things that I wanted.
Mhm.
I knew exactly what I didn't want, but I never knew clearly what I wanted in life. It's one thing to say, you want a house, but where, when, by what age, what time? It's one thing to say
And
that
how
you,
gonna go about getting the house?
again, mapping it out, like you said, you have it out.
Yeah. We talk a lot about how to acquire certain things, houses, cars, this, that, and the third, but we don't think about how to maintain those things, the
Mm.
tax, the mortgage, the car note, the this, that, and the third. I'm going to bring him up again, but Bishop Jake says that blessings and burdens are cousins, they are
Mm.
related. And if you are not aware of that or don't have understanding, just like, oh, I'm just going to go get this car and pay the note. Well, what about all your other bills? Are you actually able to afford this car? If something happens to you financially, excuse me, if
Do you
something
have
happens,
enough in your savings to
yes,
cover it? Mm.
absolutely. Absolutely. You said something earlier about therapy, and now I want to go back to that for a second because we know that it's or it's starting to not be so stigmatized in the Black community. And this is a recent thing. But years past, it was stigmatized like, oh, you crazy, something wrong with you. And just go to church and pray it away and talk to God.
Or you telling all your business, you telling your
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. But the thing of it is, if something is wrong with you physically, if you break your wrist, you're going to go to the doctor to get help. You know, if you bump your head and need stitches, you're going to go to the doctor to get that repaired. And so even with your car, when your car needs maintenance, you're going to make sure
You
that
go to the mechanic.
yeah, your car
Your
is
hair
running.
not right, you can go to the hair shop. Nails not right, you go to the nail
Exactly.
technician.
Exactly. So why can't we have therapy and prayer? Therapists and Jesus, they go hand in hand. Like you can go to therapy and they can help you understand you, your patterns, some things that you never even thought about are connecting from your past and that are hindering you from moving forward in your future. And it is an awesome thing to hear an unbiased opinion help you along with those epiphany moments. Like, I didn't even realize that. You are so right. And so I think therapy and prayer go hand in hand. And I'm glad that the stigma associated with therapy in the Black community is starting to be lifted, because for real, most people who think they don't need therapy, they the main ones running around wreaking havoc on people's lives, and they the ones that need to go.
Yes. Yeah. Look.
Oh,
Go ahead, put the exclamation mark up on the screen. Ding. Like put it up there, because it's something that, again, I'm glad to see that it is being more accepted now. But it shouldn't be a trend for you to understand what you should do
yes. Oh my
best for
God.
yourself. Like, don't wait for it to start trending for you
Yeah.
to
Don't let it
realize
be
that
a trend.
this is the best thing for you to
Take care
do.
of you. It's a part of your health. Like you
Mhm.
being whole you have to take care of your mind.
You are absolutely right. And that's why we are doing this. We know that we're not alone, but we also know it's people like you who are listening in, watching us, that sit sometimes alone in your room and you're like, man, how am I going to do this? And the harsh reality is a lot of the situations that you're in and that you go through, you put yourself in.
That is
You know,
very
that's the truth. And if you're still blaming other people for your hurt, your pain, your loss, why you're in the situation you're in now, why you don't have the money you have, why you're not driving the car you want, why you're not, living the life that you want to, you haven't been flued out yet, whatever the case is.
flued out. Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that.
Whatever the case is. Whoever you are, listen, at some point you have to sit yourself down and be willing to write your truths out. It may
Yeah.
look ugly. It may get ugly. And if you feel like you can't do it by yourself, understand me when I say this, you are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be willing to connect yourself with the right people and the right things. That is solely your responsibility at this point. And
Yeah.
even if you're old enough to realize, like you want your nose pierced, you want your belly button done, you want to go out, you want to hang out late at night. If you're old enough to realize you want to do those things, then you should be old enough to realize that you too are in control of where you are going.
Right.
So connect yourself with the right people. There are groups, and it doesn't have to be, and I'm gonna be honest when I say this, and Stacy knows, like I'm not there yet in my spiritual life. I'm not there yet. I'm working towards, but I'm not there yet. And that's just me being
Nobody
honest.
is though, and I think you have to. And I'm just gonna speak the truth.
Yes.
Stop prefacing anything that you're gonna say with "I'm not there yet." Nobody is. We are all works in progress, and as long as you have a genuine heart to want to find Christ and have a better relationship, that's it. He gonna do the rest. He gonna meet you where you are.
See, speak the truth, Stacey. And
Yeah.
that's why
And
that's why we're doing this. That's why
yeah,
we're doing this. Now, I think oftentimes too, when it comes to like breaking your generational curses, if you've never seen it done before,
Mm-hmm.
Or, for example, I've told Stacy this before, like her spiritual life, her being so connected with God. I feel it, I see it. And I know you have flaws and things like that. But the relationship that you have compared to, you know, where I know I could be, right? I've never seen that before. So in a way, it kind of scared me. I'm like, okay, well, from my understanding, if they like that, you know, you can't really say certain things to them. You can't really do this stuff. You can't, you know, live your life like that, because, you know, they might.
What do I tell you? What have I ever criticized you about your life? That's not
Never.
my place is to be a light and an example for you. And oftentimes Christians have a tendency to want to do God's job. No, you just live your life the way that God will have you to. And through your life being an example, you'll draw people nearer to him and let God be God. I cannot do his job. So it's my responsibility to be the best Stacy that I can be through Christ. And that will draw Porsha and other people towards him. And I do want to say a few things, because you hit on several things that I truly believe in and we talk about quite often. When you say write things down and it might get ugly. Yes, it is definitely needed to be introspective. You have to look at yourself, see what you have caused, what problems you have caused in your own life. But then understand that we serve such a kind God that even when we put our own selves in trouble, he is so graceful and so merciful that he will come and rescue his children, even out of their trouble that we have put ourselves in. And then I do want to encourage all of our viewers to understand that you are not alone. You were created to be relational. Understand that the first relationship that God created was a marriage. And so we are not meant to just walk through life by ourselves. And that's not to say that, you know, I'm telling you that if you're not married, there's something wrong with you. What I'm saying is that we are meant to be relational. You are not meant to walk through any trial, struggle, or life alone. And so find like-minded people who are at least on the same path that you want to go on, so that y'all can walk that path together.
I'm glad you brought that like full circle, because again, that piece right there, when it comes to developing a relationship with people who don't look like you, they don't walk like you, they may even walk better than you, they may look better than you, dress better than you, have more than you do, right?
And you should want to be surrounded by those people. I never want to be the smartest person I know. I never want to be the best at anything. I always want to be in a room with people that I can learn from.
And as long as you're willing to learn, I'm telling you, the doors will open up, but you got to be willing to drop a lot of that stuff that you brought with you. You know, you got to be willing to get rid of it.
Lady,
you come at your back. Come on now.
Like that.
And we
missed Erica Badu. We can't do it justice like you, girl, but listen, she ill. She ill.
She is.
I saw her perform that in person, and I was like, I guess hearing it as a child, I never realized she was talking about emotional baggage until I saw her as an adult perform that in person. I was like, oh dang, that's what this song's about.
Look, don't feel bad. There's a lot of lyrics out here that we done misconstrued.
I know, right?
Like, what? That's what they were talking about. Oh my gosh. Why was I listening to that at such a young age? Oh my gosh. Yes. So Stacy, as you always do, you know, we always have to give them something for the free. But give them the word of the day.
So our word of the day comes from my Choose Joy 365 Success Planner. The word of the day is gifts. Someone is waiting for you to use your gifts to help change the world. What you have matters. So stop sitting on your gifts. Stop thinking that they are not important. Every gift that you have, God gave it to you. And it's important that you use it to the best of your ability and use it to glorify God.
Yes. Yeah, I got your word. And now I got your tip for you. This is coming right from my blog spot, mollybeauty.blogspot.com. And this is from my top 10 tips on how to be happier and better in 2021. And 2022 is going to be even better. Just stick with us. Trust me. But it's called See Your Vision. So if you could wake up tomorrow and have your life the way you want it to be, then what would it look like? What type of person do you want to be? What would your family life look like? Seeing your life as perfect as you want it to be is not an impossible dream. And something that me and my babies did a couple months back, we actually sat in the bedroom. It doesn't take much to do this. You don't have to order a kit or anything like that. If you want to get fancy, do your thing, go to Amazon. That's up to you. But we went to Dollar Tree, bought a poster board, got some scissors, glue. I already had old magazines here. I grabbed a newspaper. And we made our own vision boards right here at home. My son is 9 years old. My daughter at the time, she was 4. And yes, they did a vision board with me too. Their very own. Cut out that house that you want. Put it together. Make it as clear as you need it to be. And when you do it, hang it up somewhere where you know you're going to look at it on a daily basis. I still have mine. It's tacked up on my wall in my bedroom. And although I'm not where I want to be, I can clearly see now where I am going. And at one point, I could not see that. I just thought life was about, okay, well, I know I have to work. You know, I got kids, I have bills. Well, I know I need transportation to get around, right? But not really putting the value on the things that I know that I'm worthy of having. That home that I want, it's going to cost some money. So I know I got some work to do, but I also know that I'm worth every square foot, every ceramic, whatever, every granite, every stainless steel appliance that I want and desire, all of that, every piece of land connected to that home, even the cars that, you know, I see myself owning, not renting, not leasing, the cars I'm going to own, the schools, the educational system that I see for my children in that neighborhood. Being clear on your vision is necessary. It's so, so necessary. If not, it leaves too much space for anybody to just come in and tell you how you need to get there or what it should look like. Don't do that. And I'm thankful that I'm in my 20s, you know, like being able to see that now. But it's some people who are in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, who are singing that shoulda, coulda, woulda song.
Ooh, child, I don't want no shoulda, coulda, woulda, honey.
We don't want that. So if you happen to create your vision board, tag me on Instagram. Show us your, like, we want to see. Let us see it. It doesn't take much, but it will require you to put in some work. But we're here with you. We got you, sis. Ain't that right, Stacy?
We got you. Porsha, you don't realize it, but you always speak biblical truths. The Bible tells us to write the vision and make it plain. So when you say to make that vision board and be very specific, don't leave any room for misinterpretation, girl, that's Bible.
Oh my, look. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
You on your way.
I'm gonna get into it. And you know what? We keep bringing up Bishop T.D. Jakes. I gotta share. Last night, crazy experience. I'm scrolling on my phone. Not gonna lie, I was wasting time on social media and whatnot. And something was like, you know what? Go to YouTube. Now I went to YouTube to look up a song that I just wanted to sing out loud. And I clicked on it. And me not remembering, I guess on Wednesdays he does Bible study, I think.
Yeah.
And I clicked on it and I was just listening. So I was like, man, I didn't even come here for this, but I needed this. And I want that. Like, I wanted to be a part of my norm. Well, that, like, that's what I do anyway. Not, I just so happen to stumble upon it.
Mm-hmm.
And you speak of it all the time too, being intentional. Everything I do, I need it to be intentional, because if not, and I'm hoping that the people who are watching this, I'm hoping that when you make your next move, that you're going to be intentional about it.
Yes. I believe it was Prophet Jay-Z that said, make your next move your best move. I believe.
Hey! I'm about to look that up. Hey, look, you got to. You have to. It's so many opportunities out here. It's a lot that we have access to more now than ever. Mm-hmm. But before you jump out into the real world, come on back in. Come on in. Talk to yourself. Let's clean house from the inside.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But you can do it. And if you can't do it alone, join us right here.
Yeah. You're not going to do it. You're not going to get too far by yourself. So come on, sis. We are standing in solidarity with you to help you overcome whatever it is you are going through and to reach your goals. That's what we are all here for, to carry each other across that finish line.
Yeah, I see your crown. It's a little tilted, but I got you. I help you fix it.
Crown, sis.
Yeah, look, hers is, look, she got that thing, honey. She won't play no games, and I love it. Look at her. So don't suffer in silence. This is what we're telling you. Don't sit there and suffer in silence. You can stand in solidarity with us today. And maybe if you're not ready today, we get it.
Get ready. No more. Get ready.
Exactly. If you're not ready, you gotta get there. You got to.
Yeah,
you got to.
It's time. What you waiting for? Y'all remember that Everest commercial with the man? He was like, "What you waiting for? You just sitting on the couch. You ain't doing nothing. What you waiting for, sis? Come on, connect with us."
Look, that's what we're gonna share with y'all next show. We're gonna share that. I want to know where those people are today. Where are they? Because he convinced me
from the commercial.
He had convinced me.
I'm weak. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, Porsha. Thank you to all our viewers for tuning in. And until next time, ladies, y'all take care. Thank you for tuning in to Come On Sis, a virtual talk show and podcast hosted by Stacy J and Truly Porsha. Our mission is to educate and empower Black women with tools to elevate through sisterhood and self-care. So let's get started.